What is going on, good people? And thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Man Up Real Talk podcast. I am and forever will be your host with the most, Mr. Michael Wiley, saying greetings and salutations to all of you, our faithful followers and listeners. Listen, y'all already know I appreciate all the likes, clicks, shares, and downloads and whatever else it is that you do to support this podcast, because I know that had it not been for you guys, it would not be us. So I greatly and forever appreciate it. Now, for those of you all that's joining for the first time, I say welcome. And for everybody else that's back for a second help, and I say welcome back, because as you can see, your boys is back on the air with the Man of Real Talk podcast for the people. But you may notice I'm by myself. Or am I? Allow me to introduce my guest co-host for this evening, Miss Jazzmine Montfort. Hello.
Hi.
You know, I since it is Women's Month, I said, listen, I'll try to have some of y'all on from time to time and see how it work out. And Jazzmine is my super dope co-host on today, because Phil is actually out doing some things, taking care of the family. So much love to my brother in arms, and he will be back in effect on next week. So what's going on, Jazz?
Nothing much. What's going on with you?
Nothing. You look dolled up, and did you wake up that way, or did that take a little work?
I woke up this way. I worked really hard since Sunday to keep these lashes on.
Wait. You said you worked really hard from Sunday to keep the lashes on? Okay.
I put my good work in, okay?
You put the good work in?
I didn't close my eyes.
You got problems. Well, look, man, I'm glad you hanging out with your, look, some of you all may not know, but Jazzmine is my niece. So I'm glad she's hanging out with her uncle on this evening, because actually she's the reason for this particular show. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. Listen, you guys, I just want to, first of all, let me just say this real quick. Y'all been like just dope these past couple of weeks with the likes and the shares and everything, man. It seems like once I explained it and y'all got to understand it, y'all get the assignment now. So I need y'all, wherever you are right now, just stop for a few seconds, like and share this video. And listen, if you know somebody that you think might be interested in the conversation, tag them. Hold on. Let me get my light right so y'all can see I'm for real. If you know somebody that may want to be in this, conversation, tag them so they can join us and they can be part of the conversation. But y'all have been awesome with liking and sharing. Couple of things real quick. My guys, my dudes, my brothers, April 2nd, we are doing our first Man Up meetup. That's right. We're going to hang out and chill and eat and whatever else. The Bible said it's good for brothers to dwell together.
Huh?
Did it not say that?
Dwell.
Huh? Dwell. Together. Yes. And that's what we're going to do on the 2nd of April, and just hang out, man, and just have a good time. We're gonna meet up, man. That's what trying to build this brotherhood. That's all I'm doing. We got that coming out. Y'all already know. Please save the date, July 30th. It is the last Saturday in July. We doing our Rock the Block Part 2 school, back to school jam, man. We're giving out school supplies, the whole nine. We're trying to get that ready right now for the children. That's what we're doing.
For the children. Because
Mike love the kids.
Huh?
I love the kids.
Okay. Even
though too many in one room make me itch, I love the kids.
We love them.
Love them. So we're trying to do a back to school thing for them on this year, man. So be looking out for that. Appreciate y'all. We got some fundraisers coming up. So look, I need y'all for real. Y'all know one thing I'll never do. I'll never ask y'all for no money or none of that stuff. Only thing I ask you to do is support, and you can support in a lot of ways, and we're gonna have that information for you coming real soon. So listen, we actually got some other guests that's joining us on today. Now, y'all may know this young man. He's a fancy dresser. Unfortunately, he likes iPhones.
I have an iPhone. I'm on one right now.
But you family, so I have to excuse you, He's light skinned. That's charge number 2. It's like, Jesus. I mean, I don't know. What can you do for this man? Look, I'm just gonna bring him on. Pastor Rob Sams, everybody. What's going on, Pastor Rob?
Listen, I don't know if I should be offended or glad I'm on your show, but thanks for having all of me.
Look, all jokes aside, though, man, Pastor Rob knows that I love Pastor Rob. And
I love
he
you
has
back, sir.
he has been an avid supporter of what we do here on Man Up Man, and I appreciate him because he always plugging us, always plugging us. And he also has an awesome show that you all should check out. It's called Just Us Talking that he does live. Man, look, y'all the co-host on the show. Y'all, he brings y'all. He brave enough to bring some of y'all individuals in so you can state what you want to say.
Even if it doesn't agree with what I say.
Even if it don't agree with him, he lets you come on and say your piece, and then he pray for you and move on. It's a wonderful thing, and you all need to check him out. I'm gonna let him plug that too later on. And then also, long-time friend of the show, my brother, Mr. Chaun Pritchett. What's going on, my friend?
Praise the Lord, everybody. God is good.
Mr. MP3 himself. He said all that, Lord Jesus.
What's up, everybody? Man, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here on such a great show with Mike, my brother Mike, the host, the most, all that. And with his niece. I'm glad. I can't wait to get into this interaction. And with Pastor Sam, who tell it like it is, no matter who it is.
Man.
So I'm just glad. I'm ready for tonight because
all day
I'm on here with him.
One thing he don't do, he don't hesitate with telling you what he think
at all.
I think it's going to be a good show, good conversation, because this is stuff that we need to talk about, especially when it comes to the church. So I'm ready for it.
Absolutely,
I'm ready for it.
So listen, my pastor actually a couple of weeks ago did an awesome show when he was talking about the state of the Black church and spirituality. And they did an awesome panel. If you guys haven't seen it, you can go to Voices Rising Up and check out that panel. They did a great show. This, however, is almost an extension of that, but it was brought to my attention actually by my niece. She sent me a meme. Y'all know memes. For some of y'all older folks, that's when they have the little picture and it has text on it and it describes situations and stuff. Y'all seen them. You've seen them. But she sent me a meme, and in this meme, there was a picture of a man's face in the water like he was drowning. And around that picture, it had four things. It said the youth are leaving, it said tithe is dropping, the church is dying, and new converts are disappearing. And then the next picture, you saw the man actually sitting in the water with his face just above it. And it says the church refusing to change anything. Now, that I don't know why that hit me the way that it did. But I wanted to talk about this because even Chaun, on one of his posts, he was talking about some things that's going on with the church, but the way that some people approach it, they have this tear down attitude. I got to tear down the church. The church is this, the church is that, and I can't stand the church. And listen, let me get this out the way for some of y'all that's waiting in the wind to pounce on this. I've had subjects, and actually I've had Pastor Rob and my brother Chaun on, and we talked about why men don't like going to church. And we explored that. And the thing is, it wasn't a thing about tearing the church down. But at the same time, you have to be aware of these things and bring them to the forefront so they can be discussed and hopefully a solution can be found. For those you all that's in relationships, you already know. Ladies, y'all know. If your man ain't doing right, what you say? It's the 4 words that don't no man like to hear. What is it?
We need to talk.
We need to talk.
I thought it was I ain't got money.
Oh no, that's
my bad.
That's the second. That's the second phrase.
Okay.
Send me some money. Oh Jesus! All right.
Yeah, I thought it was. Who is that? And no fourth word. Just.
or what's the other phrase? Watch out for Amazon. What again? It's like
right.
Jeez.
I don't even get that statement. I just hit a doorbell. All right.
You just hit a doorbell. You already know it's gonna be a box with a smile on it.
Yeah.
But
before we dive in, can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
I'm a little offended only because Your last month in February, you had flyers everywhere. People picture on it. When I come on your show, I don't get a flyer. I don't get a post.
That is not true.
Nothing.
That is not true.
You
As
had
a matter
all
of fact,
these big people on the last all month. Check us out on the first Sunday, the second Tuesday. That's all right. But I'm okay. I'm here. I'm good.
He a celebrity too. He big
Thank
time
you.
too.
Did you need me? First of all, don't have me to mute your mic. Secondly, every time Pastor Rob comes on this show, I do flyers. I put them out days in advance. I'm tagging everybody. To be honest with you, it was just I just couldn't get around to doing it today, man. And I even told Jazz, and I said, man, Jazz, I didn't even get a chance to put a flyer out. And normally I'd be on top of that, but I've been busy. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of pokes in the fire right now.
Pastor Rob, just don't leave the church, you know.
Yeah, just don't leave the church. Don't get church hurt about it, man.
I'm about 2 seconds. I hate this church. I'm about 2 seconds. I want to go home.
Say, I'm going home. This
Home.
church is horrible. But
Yeah.
I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this panel, and I especially wanted Jazzmine in on it because she's of a younger persuasion. Some of us are, we well, I can't speak for everybody, but I know for me, I'm further. I'm out of the youth department, if you will, and and so, but I have two teenage boys, and well, not like young adults, basically. But I hear some of the issues that they have when it comes to church, and look, and see, I already know how people think. This ain't necessarily correlating with a specific person's church.
Mm-hmm.
These are issues that a lot of churches face.
Yeah.
So this ain't Michael talking about Pastor Razor. This ain't Jazzmine talking about her past. This is across the board. So let's get that out the way right now.
Thank you.
But one of the issues that I see the church having is with the youth leaving. And not only leaving, but sometimes like when they're there, once they leave, they don't come back. And that's an issue because if you're thinking about the church as a whole, we keep saying, we got to build up the kingdom and build up the kingdom. Well, you can't build up the kingdom if it ain't no kingdom. And the future of the kingdom is the youth. We have to be they're the future church. If we don't have children, if we can't maintain the youth in the church, then how are we going to build the church? Now, Jazzmine had an interesting perspective on that, and I just wanted her to talk on that for a minute. So, Jazzmine, I'm going to go ahead and let you have the floor so you can give your take on it.
So for me, when it comes to church, I want to say, as far as being a member, I want to say it's been about 5 years since I've been a member of the church, but it was mainly because I had nothing for me in church. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to sing, didn't want to praise dance. I didn't want to be the next deaconess, nurse, anything like that. And then not only that, at the time when I was being active or trying to be active and giving ideas at that time, they weren't taken seriously. And it was like, well, what am I supposed to do? It's not that I don't want to be in church. I'm not trying to take the order out of church. It's just as a young person, I have nothing. I've been to different churches, things like that, but I've never joined another church after the church that I grew up in. And I'm not opposed to meeting them where they're at, but it's kind of like, I need you to hear me what I'm looking for, because I don't want to do everything else that you want everybody else to do. And for me, it was just like, well, I love God, but I don't want to be in church. So what do I do? And, it's been times where, I'm like, well, you know what, forget about it. And then it's times like, no, I do need to be in church. I do need to have a leader that covers me, but what am I supposed to do? And then not only that, you hear other people that either grew up in church or have been to church, and they're like, well, nobody hears me out. But then on the other hand, those that are over, which I was talking to my Uncle Michael earlier, there are people who are in leadership position when it comes to the youth. And then it comes to a point where we're hearing you, we're trying to put some things in the works, but then your pastor, the one who's over the church, where they're like, well, no, we're not doing that. So then now it leaves the person who's in the leadership position in the middle where they can't do anything. and they have to listen to their pastor, but then at the same time, they have to look at these young people, and now they're leaving left and right, going to either another church or they're just not coming back at all. So what do we do at this point? And how do we come to a table talk to where, okay, listen, I need you to hear me out and see where I'm coming from, and then I hear you out. But we have to be able to open up our ears and listen.
So, Pastor, let me pass it over to you then. As a pastor, when you hear a young person say, "There's nothing for me," or "It's hard for me to find something to get into," how do you address that? Like, what do you tell a young person if they say, "Pastor Rob, listen, I love God, I love church, but I feel like there's nothing here for me. What do I do?"
Well, the first thing is I have to understand that everything is not going to come through me. Even being the pastor, a lot of pastors don't think this way. The reason you have a team is because you have people that think differently than you or on other spectrums, other perspectives, other background, other thought patterns than you. So it's important to have people on your team that don't necessarily think like you, because then you'll be able to broaden your reach. Secondly, if I can just say this part, let's stop putting these 55-year-olds over the youth department.
I'm sorry. I should not have laughed at that.
Because they cannot relate to you. The leader over the youth department must be relative to who and what's trying to be reached. All right. So let me say this. If I can go back a little bit, I grew up, I'm part of Generation X. I know y'all much older than me by probably a couple decades, but
wow,
I'm part of Generation X.
I'm not that old.
And being a part of Generation X, I've been in church all my life. It was do what I say, follow the instruction of the leader, and you don't have a voice. Now, being on this side of the spectrum, I understood what that made me feel like. So you know what I do? Oftentimes take a poll. What is it that y'all see? What do you need? Because it's okay to have conversation, just like Jazzmine said, it's okay to have conversation to see what's needed. I think too often we think the Spirit gonna tell us everything when you could just have a regular, normal conversation. What is that you need? What is that you're looking for? Now, I'm not saying give them everything they need, because sheep don't know everything they need and they can go too far. I get all that, y'all. Right. So anybody know me know I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is just simply ask, what is needed? What do you need in order for this to be interesting to you? Because you got to remember, I come from a generation where we were made to go to church, if you felt like it or not. Now this current generation have an option. I didn't have an option in my house.
That's true.
Even when my parents didn't go to church, they made me still go to church. And I'm not being funny. I still had to go. So now we got to understand that we're in a different time. As a leader, I had to understand. I've been pastor now for a little over 10 years. I had to understand we're in a different time. We're in a different era, different dispensation. Church is not the same it used to be when I was a teenager, 30, some years ago. I put it like that, some years ago. So since people have changed, we then got to change some of our methods of how we reach and how we even do outreach, how we make it interesting to them to even come back to church, because so many have fallen away. So to answer your question, I'd like to give background. So to answer your question, do a poll. Sometimes I send out, my wife gets it together and get a poll out and send it to all the members. Hey, A, B, C, or D, put out a question, we get a poll, and then God gives us the method to reach what it is we're trying to accomplish.
Okay. I like that. I like what your wife said. And I think she was responding to Jazzmine. She said, you bring the solution to that question for yourself and those who come after you. And if it isn't there, then you create it. You be the innovator, strategic, and present it and be the difference that they're missing. But see,
that's my wife. That's my wife. Okay.
But see, here's the issue with that. Right. And I don't have an issue with her statement. The issue I have, though, is with the young people. And here's
Hold
why.
on, that's still my wife, but go ahead.
No.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
Here's what I'm saying. with the young people, they'll say, "It's nothing here. I don't want it. It's nothing for me to do. What am I supposed to do?" And you say, "What do you want?" And you know what they generally say? "I don't know."
But this is what my wife and we teach this too.
Mm-hmm.
If you come with a problem, you have to come with an answer.
Gotcha.
I can't say I don't like the way y'all sing. I don't have a solution to fix how people sing.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because then we would breed a certain kind of thing where everybody come with all the problems. But when you put it back on them to say, if you see a problem, sit on that thing for a moment. And what do you get from that? What can the resolve be from that issue? And bring not only the problem to the table, but sometimes you can also bring the solution to the table.
Got to bring the solution. I like that.
Yeah.
Chaun, so what's your perspective on it, man? I know you've been sitting by, and I know you ready. I saw your eyebrows furl up when you was like, "Oh man, just put me in, coach."
I agree exactly with Pastor Rob. I'm about to play devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
Right quick.
All right.
What we never had a problem with teachers that are 20 and 30-year-old veterans teaching young people. Why in the church is that an issue?
Is the question for me?
Nope. That's a devil's advocate.
Oh, that's a general question.
A general question.
All right. So you saying that we have 20, 30-year-olds teaching?
No,
year old.
Veterans.
Oh, veterans.
Older than. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Older than.
Okay. In our schools, in our systems, that's been our mother's teacher, and now they are the teachers of our grandkids, and they're still successful. The kids are coming up successful, but in the church, we don't want that system in the church. Why is that?
Well, if I may, let's do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the school system is very much antiquated as well. If the school system was as great as you try to make it out to be, there would be a lot more people graduating. There would be a lot less people failing, and you wouldn't have the issues that you have like you have in some of the inner city schools, because the school system is so great and the teachers are so great. Let's just be honest. Some of them teachers wasn't that great. Mm-hmm. Some of them teachers was just there to collect a check.
Yeah, but my point is not to those who weren't great. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the system, not the individual, but because there are great teachers who are still around, who's been in the school system for 30 years mm-hmm. and still executing with success in the classroom. And we don't have a problem with that teacher teaching our young people, but we have a problem with that pastor that's 40 teaching our young people.
But I think you answered the question. I'm sorry, Rob. I think you just answered the question, though. They're teaching with the level of success. The problem isn't the youth department. The problem isn't with the youth departments that's successful. It's with when you have those 30 and 40-year-old veterans over a youth department with 3 kids. Mm-hmm. And they're not doing anything different. And they see the fall off. You understand what I'm saying? It's not. Mm-hmm. It's not like I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with you being 50 and 60 years old and over the youth department. If your youth department is successful,
I do have a problem with that. That's why I say I'm being devil's advocate.
Yeah, right. I do too.
Someone old.
Well, see, I've never had that experience though. Having somebody.
But I was just putting it out there as a devil's advocate.
I mean, but I'm just saying. But so is it the issue with someone being older? It's like, would it be an issue if the person was older and successful, or if they were older and not so successful?
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
I think what happens when it comes to the regular structured school system, you have teachers that are successful that goes with the up-to-date innovation, that mm-hmm. goes with different strategies, Absolutely. That go with different methods, but they change with the time. What I mean by that, I don't mean the church needs to change, right? But I do believe the church needs to get innovative. Yeah. The church needs to have new strategy. And what happens in the church is because it worked for Generation X, we think it's going to work for Generation Y. And It doesn't work that way. We have to get innovative. Listen, who would have thought we're having church online now?
Online.
Exactly.
You could not have told me that 10 years ago, that I would have to do lives in church and, put up backdrops in church and all lights and all this stuff
and
for
stages.
Service. What happens is the church gets antiquated because the church don't want to change, because the last glory worked. So we think that the last glory is going to work for this current time. And that's not how God operates.
And that's where my double advocate's point is leading me to, because now I want to ask, what should stay the same? Because in fact, you have a lot of churches that are rocking and wavering to appease and to appeal to who's ever there, younger or older. They're trying to just make them satisfied. And then when the next month comes, they ain't satisfied anymore. And so now we got to figure out something else that'll keep them satisfied. What should stay the same? Because to me, we have lost our consistency in the church, and you can adapt the curriculum, you can adapt the strategies and everything, but something has to stay the same. What should that be?
I think the word of it needs to stay the same, but
Absolutely.
the method may need to change. I believe the foundational basis of it needs to stay the same, because you can't change any foundation without a building crumbling.
Come on.
That's just it. And like my wife, I was just about to say that, baby. Like my wife just said, you have to become relevant. You got to be relative. That's why I say I don't want a 60-year-old over some 12 and 15 and 18-year-olds, simply because most of the time, I'm not going to say all the time, but most of the time, they don't know how to be relative to. You can give them a Bible study, they good. But you get them youth that got phones in their hands and put your phone, they fussing at phones and all, you know what I'm saying? You need somebody that can think like them, that can get in how they think. And then listen, not become as them or like them, but do things that will get their attention. Now, we don't have to be passive in it. We don't have to change the message, but our methods, our strategies, all that we do needs to become different. And if you go back to the teachers in the old school, like I had an older teacher. Her name was Miss Comine. I was like in 1st or 2nd grade. She was old with white hair then. Grade. That many years ago. But you know what she did? She changed. My sister went to her class. I got sisters older than me. Then I went to her class. She started giving us little stickers. That was her innovation back in that time. And she kept being current. She got to be dead now. And if she not, she got to be close to Jesus. But she changed with each year in each class. She changed and did something, then started giving us this to keep our attention. Now, guess what? Everybody wanted to go to Miss Comine class and learn, but we didn't want to go to another class. Why? Because she kept up with the times.
Why do you think it's so hard though for churches to adapt to? Because I think a lot of churches believe that if they change their method, they have to change the message. And I don't think that's not true. You don't have to change your message. It's just like a lot
of people doing that.
It's like, what's the difference in you giving a message, holding it, going through it, like paging through an actual Bible, or if I stand up there with an iPad? I threw iPad out there for Pastor Rob. Or if I stand up there with an iPad and preach the same message.
But they're just like with people illustrating now, though.
Right, it's people using
now. They
now. Yeah,
they have all type of people up there and all that. It got a whole play going on during the message.
So what is the fear then? Why is it that? Why is that fear there to change the methods? Like, and it's not like the message is so locked in with the method. It's like Jesus. And we always say this. If you look at Jesus, when he talked to people, there was different methods and different messages how he spoke to the people, because he had to relate to them. I do not understand why it's such a challenge for us when it comes to this thing, because that almost like that 16 to 30, early 30 year demographic, we losing them.
Yeah,
we're losing them.
I believe, let me first say this: God is an Apple. You got an Android, you're going to hell. But when it comes to God loves us Apple people. However, the scripture, the old church uses this all the time. God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. That's been so embedded in traditionalism that it's hard for people to do anything different other than what worked for them. Now, watch this. Because it worked for a generation doesn't mean it's going to work for the next generation. So we get stuck in doing it a certain way because it worked for them. But can I tell you something? As the generations go on, generations change. Generations completely. Who is that? I rebuke you. Who is Damon? Block Damon right now.
That's our cousin Damon.
The devil is a liar. And the truth ain't in him.
He said, look at Damon going in.
Damon about to get somebody saved over these phones.
But we're the church, because of traditionalism, is scared to what we call change. And when they hear the word change, they think everything has to change. But like you said, when it comes to methods may change, but the message must still be the same foundation. And we just build methods upon the foundation of the message. And we miss that because church don't like change. Because it's been working all that time. And that's where we get the quote unquote traditional church from.
Yeah.
Because their traditionalism have been working for them. And most of the time you get a lot of falling away from that when people are looking for the new, the innovation, the fresh, and all the rest of that. Yeah, but they get stuck in what used to work for them.
Two things, Mike.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, man.
One, this is a joke, but it's fun. It's not fun. I mean, it's funny. But I mean it. The church, Pastor Rob, Mike, and not you, Jazzmine, because I'm talking about the older guys right now. So you about to understand where I'm coming from.
Older.
We've been hearing that the youth are the future of the church since we were young, and it still hasn't happened.
You know why?
How long would that phrase continue to have life but bring no life to the church?
But you know what? I have a take on that.
Because we've been hearing ever since we were young, the youth are the future. We old in our 40s, and it was like we didn't really.
And you know why?
Anything.
Because a lot of
people running it.
Because a lot of churches. Okay.
Take your time.
I think there's a couple of reasons. Number one, you have people that value their position more than the progress. Because you have people that want to hold on to that title. They want to hold on to being head this, lead that. They love being acknowledged as that person. And so as a result of that, what happens is that you don't have proper training. And you have a lot of churches that don't train the people the way that they need to be trained so that they can continue on the church. You have a lot. It's just like when you look in the government right now, why is it people in Congress that's making rules for Black people and they were alive during the Jim Crow days? Yeah. How does that work? You have some people that's been on certain boards forever and they have no desire to train anybody else to be able to do that job because their plan is to stay in that position until Jesus himself calls them home. And so you have a lot of folks, you have a lot of churches that don't train properly. And because they don't train properly, you got a lot of people that's just sitting off to the side. You could probably, man, do you understand that the whole reason, the sign, the qualities of a good leader is to be able to train the people under you so that they can continue what you're doing. And so if we ain't training the people, and if we're not giving them what they need to do what they need to do, how can we expect them to take over?
So then where does our pastors come in to step in and say, well, we need a change? I need you to take over and I need you to train somebody to do that instead of just letting them handle it themselves. Because I think that's where the problem comes in. Because now a lot of people have this seniority and they feel like they don't have to do anything. Like they don't have to move. They don't have to change anything like that. So if the pastor is there, does he not notice that people do not come to him? Like how does that work? I mean, I've never been that close as far as like, well, I'm going over you and I'm going to my pastor. But at the same time, those that are trying to be in that leadership position or trying to be next, do they not communicate to the pastors or anybody that is next, or the next thing close to them? Like, how does that work? Because for me, it's just like, well, I'm just sitting here. What am I supposed to do? I want to do this, but they're telling me no.
I think what has happened is the spirit of King Saul has been in church for a long time. I just believe that. This is my personal opinion. I believe the spirit of King Saul has been in church for a long time, whereas not listening to anyone, don't want to trust the youth or the young people, would rather kill them or rather seek to discard them or degrade them or tell them they're not good enough.
Or put them over there.
Or put them over there for the sake of them keeping their position. I understand that the church where I pastor is not Robert's church. It's God's church. And any wise leader, remember there is wisdom in a multitude of counsel. There's safety in the multitude of counsel.
Yep.
And I think what we miss really the counsel of God to really understand succession, because old school church, they died in the pulpit. They died as the pastor. I don't care if they lost their mind. They were still on the road as the pastor until we buried them. To me, that wasn't thinking futuristically. However, to go back to what you said.
Are you texting something?
No.
I hear that ticking in my ear.
I hear that look clicking too. Let me see if I mute you. Let's stop. It was her.
It was her.
It was you. You over there texting? You just messed up the whole flow of the conversation. No, she got an Apple phone. See that? We gonna bind that thing right now.
I'm talking about
she got an Apple phone.
Are you on your computer? That was the keyboard.
I'm not texting or nothing.
That was the keyboard.
The devil with the androids and the devil with her texting. That's what it was.
Look, that's what it is.
But
I'm sorry, Pastor Rob. Go ahead. I messed up your whole train of thought.
No, you're fine. Right. What was I saying? But to go back to what Chaun said. Chaun was talking about it was a point I was about to make before Jazzmine saw all this texting.
I know Jazzmine over there texting and everything.
Yeah.
You're talking about how the pastors
the spirit of Saul.
They were you said King Saul, they were dying.
King Saul, yeah.
But it's something you said I was about to reply to.
What should stay the same?
No, but what you were saying about you don't wear out, but you die out. Is that what it is? That was you were saying?
I forgot it. It'll come back to me.
It'll come back. We'll watch it later. It was a good point.
I think, and let me know if you guys agree with this. I think what kept young people in the church back in our days was the choirs and playing on the instruments. You know, we didn't see a lot. You know, and I know this is about to step on a lot of people's toes, but we didn't see a lot of hirelings in our churches.
No,
people that sung, directed, played were all grew up in the church, and that kept us as young people involved because of the fact we were trusted. As Kendra, I saw Kendra point, we were trusted to do something in the church, and so now the young people they're pushed in the corner, and they don't have an opportunity to be involved because the people that are involved are paid, and instead of trusting them to make the mistakes and that's my daughter up there, that's my son up there. We don't see that a lot anymore because of the fact, they have been replaced with people hired to carry out the ministry job and don't have any tie-ins to that church. They're just hirelings. So I believe if we get young people back involved, engaged, like with the choirs, with playing on the instruments, letting them be involved, then I think that's when we'll start seeing them more. But just allowing them just to sit in the corner, okay, we got a hip hop preacher that's gonna come once a year to preach to you.
Right. on Youth Sunday, right?
on Youth Sunday.
That happens once a semester or once a year. That's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I think we're in the smartest time of the church.
Absolutely.
I really believe that. We're in the smartest generation that has ever lived on earth up until now. I believe that as leaders, we need to tap into that. Watch this. But when we get out of the mindset that it all needs to come through me, the pastor, we'll miss it if it got to come through us. Yeah. We need to tap into the young people with this innovation, with this IT techie savvy and all this stuff. I'm telling you, you know why? Because it really would make the ministry look better.
It'll make the ministry look better. And I'm gonna even piggyback on that. Those you that's in leadership positions, you got to get out of yourself. You got to get out of yourself and not be ashamed, not be afraid to train these young people in what it is that you're doing and worry about you losing your position.
Train and trust them.
Train and trust them and not use your favorite young people.
Yes. Oh my. We can't. That's a whole nother podcast, right?
Because that quiet girl over there, man, can do something with your life much greater than the one that you've been putting all your time and effort into.
And don't care quiet people. And don't even care.
Yeah, them quiet people sitting on the side.
Using Jazzmine as an example, Jazzmine was born and raised in the church and know the church, came there on Bible study nights, and when she didn't want to, had to do her homework at church. But now Jazzmine knows what to do in church. Jazzmine still don't get used in the church. She gets replaced by someone who's just coming to collect the last tithe and offering of the church. You know, that to me, that really burns me right now, because in fact, our young people are not, they're being replaced. Or good people, period. Let's not just say young people. Good people that are in the church, that are born and raised in the church, are being replaced by people who can care less of the church. Just give me my money.
Because we like flash and flare. Because we like that flash and flare. We love new people. We love new people, and we love new people so much that we forget about the faithful folks that's been there. We get people, these new people will come in, and within weeks' time, they put in positions. Ain't been tested, ain't been tried, don't really know if they saved. They just said they are. But now you got them standing up in front of the church, and you got good people, young people that's been under you and been serving in the ministry, and you don't even give them the chance to do it.
I think we also should adopt this too. This is what we do at the Oasis. Hey, this is what we're trying to do. Anybody have background information about how to do this? Anybody have a background on whatever it is? I don't care if it's an app. I don't care if it's whatever it is. And if we don't have anyone in-house, guess what we'll do? We'll train someone in-house.
Right.
Instead of outsourcing it, let's train someone in-house. We may outsource the training to train them how to do it, but okay, thank you for your services, because I'd rather, if I'm going to pay anybody, I'd rather pay somebody from the ministry, because when I pay them, if they're tithers, if they're givers, they're giving back to the ministry. So it's being reciprocated within the ministry. We got to get back to, well, the best person over there, let me get him to video record. When you got that quiet person sitting on that third row in the corner, no one is saying, I can do better than that, but they never even asked.
They never asked. And I'm going to tell you.
Inquiring in-house first.
Or I want to do that. I want to do that. And instead of investing, saying, oh, you want to do this? Let me connect you with someone outsourced that does this outside of church, and to train you so you can do this here at your church. And I will give you whatever, a stipend. I'll buy you a church dinner, because back then we didn't really get paid as much. You know, I was a drummer.
I didn't get paid at all.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't get, but we got the perks. But the joy of it was being with people who love the church. Was being with people who connected. Like, you can go over their house, you can fellowship. We went to the museum, we went out to there, and I'm going in another direction. But all this happened from within the church, and people grew up in that same church, not wanting to leave, but wanting to work. That's true. You know,
we need to invest in those that are vested.
Come on.
Yes.
That's a message right there.
Invest in those that are vested, because they'll have the heart of the ministry. It's not just a job for them or something they're just getting paid for. I don't know if I should say that's one of my members or not.
Say church dinners kept me singing
and playing. Praise the Lord.
But we need to invest in those that are vested in the ministry.
But you know what the funny thing is? I was naive enough to believe that that's how it worked.
Yeah.
I always thought that you just put into those that's putting into you. But when it comes to the church, it don't always work that way. And
because
then,
when
ahead.
you give to those that are connected to you, the same oil that's on the house will be on. And I mean, I'm going a little bit deeper than
it's all
I
right.
probably should, but the same oil on the house, the same dedication on the house, the same commitment on the house will be the same thing that's on those that's doing the work. Watch this. And I remember playing drums, choir directing, singing, ushering, preaching, and not getting I was in regular rotation at the church I came from for years. I've been preaching for 20 years.
Yeah.
Regular rotation. Every few Sundays I'm preaching. Didn't get an offering, a dime, or nothing.
Yeah.
Why? Because I was vested.
Yeah.
And they invested in me.
Right.
And I had the mindset, or we did back in that day, that I'm giving back to God. See, not for a check. And I was grateful if I got $30 at the end of a sermon, or, $20 paying the drum.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I started the church, it was a different time. Folks need to get paid for everything.
Yeah.
Now, so we're in a different era now.
Jazzmine, Mike, Pastor Rob, what do you say to ministries that have been standing and growing in many numbers for a long time with that same pastor? They haven't done anything special. They haven't brought in a circus. They haven't brought in anything that would appeal to the young people in that sense. It's that same pastor, and his ministry is thousands deep and strong, and the young people are still there flooding that church. What do you think, as a pastor, Pastor Rob? What do you think that method is?
Oh, listen, I may hurt somebody's feelings right now. So
y'all look. Do you realize everybody on here trying to hurt somebody's feelings? Y'all need to.
Not me.
Chaun was like, I'm finna step on some toes. Oh,
Lord.
Right.
But I'm going to say this. I believe there's several reasons, but I'm just going to what's coming to mind right now. A lot of times, even from when I talk to people, a lot of times some of the younger people go to the church that their mother and grandmother went to. So they're more dedicated to their parents and grandparents than they really are to the ministry.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is the pastor that buried my grandmama, and I would stay with him. See, they made covenant. I'm going a little deep now. They made covenants with grandmama. Don't you leave Dr. So-and-so, because he was there for me and my family. And now they stand somewhere with a false covenant, or covenant they made with grandmama. That's a little deep for some of y'all. So let me just come back a little bit. But I believe some people, not all and not everybody, but some stay because of covenants they have with family. That's my family church. My auntie is on this board. My uncle is doing this, and blah, blah, blah. So they go because of their false commitment to their families and really not to God or the ministry of the church. Also, what I also think is, did I say also twice? I'm sorry.
You did. It's all right.
That's me thinking in my head. But what I also think is part of the dynamic of that is when pastors, let me put it like this. They old school, but you got some young people that stick with old school because that's what they know. If that makes sense to you, because that's what they know.
I like old school, but I like new school at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. And because they like that old school feel. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
But you did. But go ahead.
I know.
It's your show.
It could be that even though he's an older or an old school pastor, maybe he still found a way to include or to incorporate, things that the youth be like, you know what, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't been young for a while, and so
I can guarantee you though that pastor makes the youth feel valuable.
Right. Absolutely.
They make them feel needed.
Yeah.
And they make them feel like they are wanted.
Yeah.
I don't care if that's even with outreach. I don't care if that's with, it don't necessarily have to be some techie and all the rest of that. We need you for this. And, you do a great job. A lot of times that come with just giving accolades. Yeah. Open publication that such and such did good. And you know what? Do I want to go deeper? Some people in their minds, well, I don't hear from my mom or my daddy. So if I do good at the church at least somebody would acknowledge me. I'm going a little deeper than what than I normally would.
That's
So
all
some
right.
people, when they have those kind of issues, they do things to get acknowledged, and they then become committed to the acknowledgement and really not committed to the work. But it looked like they're committed to the work. But that's a whole nother story.
That's so key. Elena Motley. I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong.
Yeah, you're saying it wrong.
That's so Motley or Motley. Yeah. A lot of what she basically saying is that, you know, personal relationships, whether it's with the pastor's friends or leaders, you got to have those. Like, as a teacher, in order for us to reach our students, we have to have relationship. We can't discipline without relationship. You can't tell a kid stop doing that or go sit down without having that relationship. They got to know that they can trust you. They got to know that you value them. As Pastor Rob said, they got to know all of those things before they do exactly.
Is Jazzmine texting again?
That's Jazzmine texting again. She is doing something. She is doing something.
They got to know that you
doing anything.
Is something eating? Are you eating on your phone? Is that the baby? What's going on?
I'm gonna mute my mic.
And the noise is gone.
And it stopped.
They got to know that you value them, trust them, love them.
Absolutely.
So Pastor Rob, so to me, how important is a youth pastor?
Well, let me say this. When it comes to this, did we lose?
She'll be back.
Oh, okay.
That's an iPhone thing.
So I'm on the iPhone. Matter of fact, 2 iPhones.
She'll be back. Don't worry.
What was your question again? I'm sorry.
How important is a youth pastor? Yeah, the importance of a youth pastor.
This is what I believe. I don't think the pastor has to have his or her hands in everything.
Okay.
I personally believe there should be a leader over every organization, auxiliary, whatever it is in the church. I know old school church, pastor had a meeting with the usher board, had a meeting with the deacons, had a meeting with the trustees, had a meeting with the finance committee. I don't think it should be that way. This is me personally. I believe the leader should put people over those, and then they come report back to him or her about what's transpiring. So to have a pastor over you, or a pastor over whatever it is, or just whatever leader, whatever title you give them, I think it's important because it will relieve the leader or the pastor, the senior pastor, of those duties of having to always check in, making sure things are done. So then what happens? Just like with the youth, you got to put people that you trust in position that's going to execute properly and get the job done with the people that they're over.
If you trust me to lead them, Pastor Rob, if you trust me to do this with the youth, please don't put your hand on top of my head to turn
absolutely
my head.
Right.
We can't do that, and we shouldn't do that. I know a lot of people do, but then you might as well, as a leader, you might as well go ahead and do it, because you're going to control the person that's doing it. That's why you have to trust them, because when it comes to that type of thing, Jesus, when it came to the disciples getting fed, Jesus gave the food to the disciples, and the disciples fed the people.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure when it comes to hierarchy and structure that you have people that you can feed, and then those people feed See, I can't touch everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
It's impossible when you have hundreds and thousands of members. I can't see Jazzmine. I came back, and the noise came back. So that's okay.
She'll be all right. We're gonna mute her until she's ready to talk. It's all good.
But a pastor, even if a pastor have in their mind that they can, it's impossible to be able to touch everything and everybody. Have people that you can trust. Listen, not have people that you got the best relationships with. Because see, we'll put people in places that shouldn't be in positions,
right? And
they're there because our loyalty to them or their loyalty to us, but they're not executing the position properly.
Or they're yes men and yes women.
What up?
Right,
right. Jesus.
I put them in leadership because of the fact I know they're going to say yes to everything, and they're going to report all the whatever to me. So I'm going to put them in position. But Pastor Rob kicked it off when he said, "What Jesus, you know, he he sent them out to feed. He sent them out 2 by 2. He said, y'all go out 2 by 2, report back to me what happened when you went out there.
Right.
He didn't do that. He just sent them out 2 by 2, and whatever the results were, they got the results.
And it teaches the people to be able to eat from the same table, just different servers.
Yeah.
All right, listen. Our hour, oh my God, our hour is almost up. We ain't even touched on the other 3 subjects. That's crazy.
What the world?
Because this is deep, man.
What about Jazzmine?
Is she talking?
You don't heard this great talking. You don't heard Pastor Rob talking. You heard myself and Mike talking. Now, out of all this that you heard talking, you represent the young people.
Tell whatever's chewing on your phone to stop. I don't know what that is, but it is chewing on your phone.
My computer charged in time, so I had to use my phone.
Jazzmine, speak. What is your feeling now from the beginning of top of the show? What do you feel? Do you think what was said will to cause you to say, now I can go back if this happens?
It gave me some insight on some things and how to, once I do join the church, like how I can incorporate myself in the youth department, because I feel like if that's a ministry if there's any ministry that I'm going to join, it will be the youth department, because I know what's missing. But it's just more of the like, does everybody truly have an open mind to hear what I have to say, or even any other youth in the church, or people who want to come in the church that are youth? Are you going to be able to listen to what I'm saying? That would be my own thing, because that's, like I said earlier, that when I was trying to kind of do things in the church and present it to my youth leader at the time, it wasn't my youth leader. It was, the pastor. But it was just because I know maybe because everything was of the old way.
If I can say this, Jazzmine,
that was the clash there at that time, and then eventually it was just like, I just have nothing, or I don't really see any interest in another church, or just the fact that it was also on top of other things as far as personal reasons and things that I've experienced myself, or dealing with family and things like that. So it's just like, but at this point now, having this conversation with you all, now I know what to do, what to take back, and how to incorporate it in the sense of where not only we as young people understand, but of the older generation, if that's what I'm dealing with at the church that I go to. Because some people are older but understand that there are youth in the church and I'm trying to bring them in. And then there are some churches where I'm older but I'm still not trying to meet you where you're at. But as young people, we have to meet you all as well. Or, well, I didn't even say it like that, like y'all are old, but we still have to meet halfway, because we have to be open, like, okay, there still has to be some type of order, or this is how they have things going, that's what we need to do. But at least we still have something. Don't take the inch and then go a mile. Just take the inch and then just go little by little.
Listen, Jazzmine has inspired me. I wasn't gonna do this, and then we're gonna finish up, but I'm gonna do a giveaway on this show. That's right. We ain't gave away nothing in a while. I know Pastor Rob's still waiting for his shirt. He said he was gonna wear it tonight, but it didn't come yet. So yeah. I'm a little disappointed, but he'll take a picture of it because it's probably about as small as that when he got on. So he'll take a picture of it and he'll take a picture of it and share it with us. Listen, before we wrap up,
they got the guns. That's
right. So Jazzmine has inspired me to do a giveaway. I need y'all to put into the chat #iPhone foolishness. That's one word. #iPhone foolishness. Put that in the chat, and I'm gonna give away a t-shirt tonight. That's what I'm doing. So listen, our hour is up, man. We ain't even touch.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Pastor Rob.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on other topics, but if I can say this to you, Jazzmine, and I'm gonna be brief because Elena is on there saying that we're long. She said y'all.
Yeah, she said we're long-winded. Did you see that?
No, she said y'all long-winded, not me. She said y'all are long-winded. However, if Jazzmine, if I can submit this to you, think about it like this: become an Esther to your senior leader. And what I mean by that, Esther's are intercessors. Esther's are the medium to go in between the people and the leader. And I believe that if you have a heart for the youth, pray and ask God to touch the ears and the heart of that leader to really hear the heart of the people that you're over or that you're leading. And I believe that when you do that and actually let that, the Spirit, I may be going a little deep for some, I don't know, but if the Spirit move them to open their hearts to really hear and be sensitive to what this generation needs, and then God will guard or guide your words, He'll guide your mouth, and then you're able to become an advocate or a conduit that God can speak through to the leader on behalf of the people.
That's it.
Yeah. Or the youth or whoever you're over. Yeah.
Because Jazzmine, the truth of the matter is, someone heard you tonight is like,
absolutely,
man, I would love to have her.
Absolutely.
My young people.
Listen, I thought about it myself, but you said
I was about to call
she belongs to Faith, Hope, and Charity. So y'all could just go ahead and back up.
I kept it general.
Wait, but didn't she say she don't?
No. I'm joking. I didn't hear that part. Listen, I was serious about this giveaway. If y'all want to look, I'm giving away a free t-shirt. I need y'all to type into the chat #iPhone foolishness, and I'm giving away a t-shirt. While the gentlemen are plugging their shows and their channels, I need y'all to type that in the chat. So at the end, I'm gonna go ahead and do a drawing, and I'm giving away a t-shirt tonight. Let's get it popping. Pastor Rob, why don't you let everybody know about Just Us Talking in the Oasis Church and Bigger Than Me and just all those wonderful things you got going on over there at the Oasis Church?
I'm gonna try to do it real fast. Just Us Talking is something the Lord gave me about a year and a half ago. Because I did radio for several years, some years ago, and I understood that people have their own opinions. So I talk about topics, sex, drugs, church, marriages, relationship, whatever it is, side chicks, baby mamas. I talk about it all, and you're my co-host. God gave me that idea for you to be my co-host. You come in my show and you say what you have to say. We don't have to agree, but it is our show. It's not just my show. So it's Just Us Talking. All right, yes. The Oasis Church. So it comes on Thursdays on my Facebook Live. So go and follow me, get notifications. This Thursday, I'm doing one at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You don't want to miss this week. We have some great topics. So the Oasis Church, we have service on Sundays at 12:30 p.m., 601 West 120th Street. That's right on the corner of 120th and Wallace, inside of the House of Rhema Sanctuary. We are there where the presence of the Lord dwells. And I promise you, if you come, you would not be disappointed. And you will get exactly what it is that you need. Bigger Than Me is my wife's ministry. I always want to push her. Most of the time I have on one of her shirts, but I didn't today because I was waiting on my t-shirt. But however, Bigger Than Me is a ministry that the Lord gave my wife. And everything we do, people we're called to, the work we're called to is always bigger than yourself. Keep Christ first. You must be crucified like Christ was crucified. And give your life as Christ given his life. And everything you do is about helping the people. She have a non-for-profit that she is getting together now. She's helping out shelters and things of that sort. So great things are coming from Bigger Than Me. Go follow my wife. It is on Facebook. She is Jazz Purim. And on Instagram, she is I think it's I Am Bigger Than Me, or I Am... one of those. We'll put it in the chat for those that are watching, but go follow her. Great things are happening. She's very inspirational. She was so inspirational, I decided to marry her. All right, I'm done.
Chaun, why don't you go ahead and plug MP3 and all the good things you got going on right now?
Oh man, right now MP3 is we getting ready to launch a new show coming soon. That's So MP3 is taking a break because there's about to be a new launching coming soon, real soon. I'm not releasing the name yet, but it's coming soon. Supposed to hit by springish, summer. Okay. But also launching a new ministry, a church that's coming. No, I'm joking. No church.
I'm like, what? You starting a church?
Did you see me giving thumbs up?
I was like,
what?
But I really on a real note, Pastor Rob, I'm gonna be coming to you about it. I've really been running from it. I used to hear the older people say that I've been running from it, and I finally answered. I used to be like, okay, no, you don't run from it. But now I am really truly understanding what that is, And I'm getting to a place, and I've probably never said this publicly. Only my wife and I talk, and I never said this. So this is the first time me speaking this out of my mouth. I'm getting to that place now that I'm slowing down from running. And I believe that it's been on my heart to do so much, but because of the fact, all the things that I've seen and all what goes on in the church, behind the scenes of the church, I allowed the enemy to say, see, this is why you don't even worry about doing that. Don't even worry about going that extra step, that extra mile.
That's why you should.
Wow.
And that's why I should. And that's why the Lord is allowing me to see that, because in fact, I'm telling you, Pastor Rob and Mike, Jazzmine, I was ready to use that as an excuse to not even try to pursue pastoring or pursue ministry on that level, because in fact, it was like, it's no need. This goes on in the church. This goes on behind the scenes. There's no need. But the Lord had convicted me and says, there's always a need, because the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. And so it's like, it's time for me to take my rightful place. So again, Pastor Rob, I'm going to be coming to you on a real talk, because I have stopped running. I've slowed down. I haven't stopped, but I've slowed down, because it's time for me to take it to that next place. So that's coming soon. And this was my first time. I don't know why the Lord allowed me to speak it out, because I just tried to keep my mouth closed for
exclusive.
But it's been bubbling in me too long, and it's like, it's time to speak it out your mouth so you can hear what it is that you're getting ready to do.
Come on,
let's do it. I can't wait to have the conversation.
Man up exclusive. Y'all ain't hear that.
Wow.
All right, we're finna go ahead and do this, John. Y'all thought I was playing. There it is, right there up on the screen. Hashtag iPhone foolishness. If you want to get in on this giveaway, you got about 30 more seconds before I do this, John. Go ahead. One word. I saw somebody type it in the chat, but they had like 2 words and all that good stuff. But it's 1 word. All right. I guess that's it. Now, if I come up the winner, I mean, I guess I'll have to do it again. I'm just saying, I don't understand why it's always picking me. But
I should have won the last time.
Did you put your name in this time, Jazzmine? Put it in the chat. You've been texting all the show. You might as well go ahead. You've been texting the whole show. You might as well go ahead and put it in right now. Lord Jesus. All right, I'm gonna do this, John. Did you entering, Jazz? If not, this is it. Then we gotta go. All right, I'm doing the drawing right now. Here we go. Oh, let's go. Who's gonna be our lucky winner on tonight? It is.
Why didn't you see my name yet?
Hey, Kimberly Woods.
Kimberly Woods live in Georgia. That's one of the people that I asked to come over and watch. So I'm glad, Kimberly. Yay!
Oh, awesome. Listen, well, let's give Kimberly a hand. Kimberly, I will be contacting you through Messenger. So if you see a strange message from a man you don't recognize, don't worry. It's just me. And I'll be getting your personal information so I can have your t-shirt shipped out to you. Listen, that's our time. We appreciate, man, look, y'all already know. I love y'all for real. I appreciate you, brothers, for taking this time out and coming on and hanging out with us. I appreciate Jazzmine with her talk of the phone. I don't know what's going on and everything that's going on with that. But so I appreciate.
We have to continue the other.
We got to continue this. So we got to get another. We got to get another day. We got to get another day so we can do these other topics. I tell you what, I'll be hitting y'all up later to get some dates and see when you all are it. Same panel, Jazzmine. You coming back? I might have to bring you back. Lord Jesus.
Me? Oh
yes.
Chaun.
Yeah, I might have to bring you back, and Chaun, so you can hang out with us.
If I can say this before we leave, since you said it openly, I want to release this openly. Since you released it out of your mouth, there's been something from the spirit realm that's been released over you.
Yeah.
Now the demand of heaven is on your words. It's about to happen because it's been released now. So it's about to happen. It's about to take place.
It's out there now, man.
Watch how God thrusts you from the point of your confession. It's about to take place. Watch it.
I tell you one thing. As soon as I said that, and right before you said that, the enemy was like, "Uh-oh, you don't release it now," and it was like fear came on me. Like,
No.
I shouldn't have released that.
You got a village that's gonna cover you.
Man.
You got a village, and I'm gonna be part of that. That's gonna cover you through this process. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So we're gonna do it. Listen, we got to do a part 2, y'all. And I'll definitely be getting up with you guys shortly to see what days you guys are available so we can continue, because I don't want to let this go. I mean, it's some killer topics on here. This was just one of them.
Yeah.
This is just one of them. I think the next episode we're gonna cover is new converts and them not staying, because we have a problem with the church. We get new people in, and next thing you know, them new people gone.
I mean,
just
fast.
Gone. Like, hey, I was just here for the communion, and then next thing you know, they out the door. So we definitely gonna be doing a part 2 to that. So I will let you guys know when that's coming up. Listen, I love each and every one of you guys that came to hang out with us on this evening. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate y'all feedback. Jazzmine, my darling, thank you so much. You're just so pretty, and I love you for hanging out with your uncle on this evening. You did a good job, baby. Look, we got plans, so get ready. This is just the training portion. So you already know what's coming up. My brother, my pastor, Rob, man, look. I joke around with you, man, but I appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you as well.
I appreciate you, my friend, and how you support and your lovely wife, and how both of y'all support, man. I appreciate y'all. My brother Chaun, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for coming on, man. And that's it for us. So listen, on behalf of my brother Philip Hines in his absence, and all of us. What?
Phil, I'm sorry. Phil, we appreciate you too, but can I say this? Because I always like to do this. So, brother Chaun, we appreciate you and your wife.
Yes,
Natasha,
absolutely.
We know. My wife is on here saying covering you all in prayer, Chaun. So my wife and I were definitely covering you and your wife, Natasha, in prayer as well. All right, I'm done. Sorry
about that, Natasha. You my girl. I please charge it to my head, and actually, I'm gonna charge it to Jasmine's phone, because that ticking was just distracting me, and it's just messed me up for the whole show. I don't know what's going. We're gonna have that fixed for the next time she come on here, because I can't have that. You done messed up. I do quality stuff here. And you done came on here with all this foolishness and ticking and stuff chewing on your phone and everything. But listen, let me leave that alone. Listen, on behalf of all of my guests and my brother Philip Hines, man, this has been the Man Up Real Talk podcast. I am Mr. Michael Wiley. And until we talk again, my friends, y'all get 2 fingers to the side. Make sure you holler at your boy, because we are officially out.